What's up, guys? This war is against the defending champs, NYC Guardians. Shout out to FP Jersey, apparently a fan of the channel. I appreciate that, man. Fuck Icy. He's apparently a fan of the channel too. I'm just kidding, Icy. I appreciate that. Okay, so these guys are obviously very good. They are number 2, I think, this season right now. So yeah, they're trying to repeat. Very good alliance, and we knew going into this war, not a lot of margin for error against these guys. So anyway, first fight here on Node 3 is a King Groot. If you guys don't know, Node 3 is unblockable L2. I never talk about it because this node's usually either empty or the fights take 2 seconds and I don't have time to talk about it. But King Groot with a large health pool gave me a little bit of time to talk about it. So, okay, so here, 455 Cosmic Champ. It's not Medusa. There she is in his profile at 565. So it turns out to be a Phoenix. Phoenix is not a great defender. But here on enhanced abilities, which is one of the nodes, on this tile here, should apply to her right of the Phoenix. And you saw there that it was pretty muted. She only like regen up to 8% health or something. Not really sure why. I don't really care. Might have been because I don't know if I had limbo in effect, or maybe she didn't have enough charges to boost that health. But who knows, who cares? This is node 27, it's True Strike and Stun Immune, and it is a 455 Mutant Champ. I'm thinking this is either, like, maybe a Bishop. It's not a Bishop because I would have seen the persistent charges. So, I have seen Archangel here, but it is, unfortunately, Nightcrawler. One of my least favorite fights in war, Nightcrawler on True Strike and Stun Immune. Obviously, the most effective strategy against Nightcrawler is to get his stances switched. And when he's awakened, it is a little bit easier to do. And I'll talk about that here in a second because I will get an opportunity and I will get his stance switched successfully. So here he backs up. Okay, when you see that timer against Nightcrawler, what you can do is either throw a light attack from the other side of the arena and then wait out the timer. That'll switch him. Or you can do a little mini 4-hit combo into his block. As long as he holds his block, that just keeps him holding his block. That's the reason you would hit into him. And as long as he holds his block for the duration of that timer, he will switch his stance. Once he switches his stance to swashbuckling mode, his attack increases, but he does not evade anymore. So he is very easy once you do that. I cannot consistently get his stance switch, especially on that node since he's stun immune. You got to play a little bit more aggressively, and I've had some failures against him on that node before in the past. But I slide over obviously to node 26, which is enhanced crits and enhanced bleeds. 345 Mutant Champ turns out to be an X23, no big deal. Despite the class disadvantage, I'm always going to take Blade into that fight. Because there's a lot more margin for error with Blade. If you build up your power, then that enhanced bleed, you can shrug it off a little bit quicker, obviously. And then generally, any mistakes that you make, if you're below 70% health, you can use your passive regen to heal up a little bit. So, all right, so I've got all the rest of my fights lined up here, at least on this path. So I'm going to throw on some boosts. We've got a 6-star Mystic Champ, it's Loki. Loki does not have that extra power gain if he's unawakened. That is his signature ability. So this is just a diversity placement, and of course mystics are pretty common here because of Mystic Dispersion. I presume that this guy's got high Mystic Dispersion, but it doesn't really matter. Loki bleeds and he's a villain, so Blade chews him up. And here on Unblockable 1 we've got a 455 Morningstar. And I'm going to throw in a combat regen boost here for 2 reasons. Number 1, against Morningstar, obviously, if you can bleed, then when you attack into her, if she's awakened, she'll bleed you a little bit, and the combat region will just kind of offset that damage a little bit. The second reason is my next fight, of course, is Bane, and combat region is a good boost to use against Bane defenders because obviously if you mistime the Bane timer, then you can take some unavoidable damage that way, even without making a quote-unquote mistake or getting hit. So it is a Yondu, and if you've watched previous videos, then Yondu is very common here, and also is no longer a defender that gives me trouble, fortunately. So I had my most humiliating war moment as a member of 4 Loki. Well, probably. I don't know. I've had a good number of humiliating moments, but I had a 0-hit death against Yondu on Bane in the off season, and learned how to fight him. And since then, I haven't died to Yondu, which is sweet. Pretty pumped. But the mini node on my path, which I normally would take, was a Sentinel, and one of the guys that is in the left side of the map that runs that portion of the map with me has a 565 Medusa, so he wiped out that Sentinel with no problem. And Medusa was almost one-shot, so she still has 2 attack bonuses left. She's down to 15% health, but this is a big Medusa, 565, signature 180. So I am going to throw a potion into Blade, but I'm not going to boost up, and I shouldn't need to. It's 15% health with Blade. I'm thinking 3-4 combos, and I can use that L1 to expire her living strands once she procs that. So here, she loads up her heavy animation. I try to interrupt that heavy animation or intercept it. And as you might not have been able to tell because it was in slow motion already, but I was too slow. Had I reacted quicker, then I could have hit her before she wound up her hair for her heavy animation, but I was too slow. Once she swings her hair around, you cannot interrupt, and she kills me in 2 hits. That's what happens against a 565 Medusa boss. 2 hits, unboosted, and you're dead. She critted on both of those too, just huge crits. So anyway, 1 attack bonus left. At this point in the war, NY had already secured the victory. So I just go back in with magic. I should have used magic to begin with. I'm more comfortable with magic against Medusa. I've used her more against Medusa. It really shouldn't have mattered because, again, with Blade's got the higher attack versus magic, and I could have used his L1 to make her use up that living strand. So anyway, that's the war, guys. 1 embarrassing death. And here's the stats. You see, I definitely used a bunch of items, but against big alliances, that's what we want to do, man. We want to have good showings. We want to do well. Wish NY the best of luck for the rest of the season. I sincerely hope we do not face each other. Thanks for watching the video, guys. If you like the music, go check those artists out. Like the video, comment on the video. I respond to all comments, even if they're negative. So hit me up.